I'm here at the end of Brawlenberg 13 with your winner, Brett Pastore. Brett, it was a great fight for you. We had talked before the fight that you are on the USA Combat Sambo team. We'll get to that in a second. But what was it like to transition out of your Pan Am's win down in Costa Rica to getting a big win to improve to 2-0 at the pro level?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about mixing striking and grappling, and both sports are all about that. Definitely. Just looking back on that fight, I just had a lot of adjustments I need to make, and I'm really happy that I made a bunch of mistakes in this fight because I'm making them now and not when I fight for the UFC title. So I'm going to adjust these mistakes. I know exactly what I need to work on next week. There's some really specific stuff I've already talked about with my coach. We're going to work on this, and this. And I'm happy that I know where I need to progress.
Well, the fact that you would look at a fight where you won by a great submission and look at it as, let's see all the things I can improve so that when you are fighting for the UFC title, you don't have holes in the game. I think that really shows the difference between somebody at 2-0 that might get a little full of themselves and somebody at 2-0 that sees the bigger picture. And obviously that's how you are, which I think is really great. And with the Combat Sambo, when are the championships? I know you're flying out at some point. You've got to cross the world to get over there, and you want to be the first ever USA born. Explain why that would mean so much.
I love America. I'm grateful to be born in this country. And Combat Sambo is a sport I love because it's that mix of striking and grappling. I love boxing. I grew up boxing. It's the American sport. And wrestling. I grew up wrestling. I love putting them together, so MMA or Combat Sambo. There's some other weird rules. You have a gi top and headgear. But I love mix of striking and grappling. And the USA has never had champions. Like, there's like this feeling of like superiority that a lot of Russians have. It's like, oh, the Americans, they bring a small team. The Americans, I want to like make America great again. I can't even say that with a straight face. But I want to have that moment where I have the US flag around my like Pan Am's hearing the national anthem while I'm on the top of the podium. Just like, so humbling. It was such an amazing feeling.
And you were in another country there, Costa Rica, and you had fought a lot of, obviously Pan Am's is all of America and South America, so you had already fought a lot of people from the South American countries. Eastern European / Russia, or what they used to control in the stands. All of those areas are obviously big into it. So when is that trip? And I think you're going to Kazakhstan?
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah. One of the stands.
We mix all of them.
I knew it was one of them.
Last year was Uzbekistan. This year, and I fought a guy from Tajikistan.
Yes.
Shevchenko's from.
Yes.
Shevchenko's from Kyrgyzstan.
She's a great example.
Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. It's that weekend in November. That's like Veterans Day. So
Veterans Day weekend.
We're 6 weeks out right now.
And is it now? You said you want to fill up your MMA holes that you just talked about tonight. Are you going to do a little bit MMA, or 6 weeks out seems like you're going to transition to Combat Sambo next week and just focus on that and then get back to the MMA, or kind of what are you going to do with what you just learned from tonight?
Both. I'm going to fix those holes, and as I'm training Combat Sambo, I don't really separate the training because they're such similar sports.
Right.
So, that's why I'm doing that.
Well, the fact that you were dominating in both, I mean, I'm sure you know this, to be at a point where you could potentially get into the UFC or some other big organization and be the first American-born world Combat Sambo champion. I'm sure that plays very well for the next, even come back to 247 in the future would be great. To be the world Combat Sambo champ is a big deal at the next level. And I think we've seen that with, the wrestling at the Olympics, with judo at the Olympics, with other things. Big organizations love to see people that have already performed at the highest level on the world stage. And obviously that's what you and your team's going to do. So thanks so much. You put on an absolute clinic. You're 2-0. And how many fights will you have to win in order to become champ? Do you already know it's kind of the brackets, or is it just go and win every fight?
Oh, for
Combat Sambo, how do they do that?
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 fights.
5 or 6 fights.
Yeah,
so you got
Pan Am's had to win 3.
Okay.
This will probably be 5 or 6.
And in how many days are 5 and 6 fights?
1 day. So 1 day weigh-ins, next day fight. Oh yeah, you have the fight is just 1 5-minute round.
But you're going to fight 5 or 6 fights in 1 5-minute round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for explaining. I didn't know that. At least you get the weigh in the night before, so you get 24 hours to recover.
Yeah,
so that's at least good.
Appreciate it.
Well, it'll be exciting to have you. I want to have you back on MMA. MMA Fancast once you get back, so we can talk about what happened. So thanks so much,
Love to come back.
Brett. Great having you on the show. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks.